You guys will know who you are because, one, you guys have been facing this issue for a while. You guys may have gotten validation from the spiritual realm regarding this. Or it may be a situation where, like I said, you're 100% aware of it, or you think that this is what may be going on in your situation, okay? So this reading will be for the twins whose masculines are facing either sexual addiction, a whole bunch of that's going on, okay? So the message came back this morning because it's the current energy going on for some of you guys, and also it was because it was supposed to be in a twin flame video, okay? So I feel like I was supposed to do a reading just revolving around this issue, this matter, okay? Before I get to the message and the visions that I've seen, last night, okay, someone's twin, I'm not sure who you are, but your masculine confessed something in the confessional. They did say that they cheated, and they basically said that I seen a menu, okay, a dinner menu, and there was a whole bunch of seafood options on the dinner menu. So they took this person out to dinner. They were intimate with this person. This person is not anyone they want a romantic relationship with. This all comes back down to the messages that I wanted to give you guys regarding, sexual addictions and lust. This is all about lust, okay? A lot of them have fell into a trap of lust to where it may have taken over, their body. Reason why I'm saying this is because I'll get more into details when it comes to that part, okay? It's very deep, but that masculine took this person out to dinner, and this wasn't, like I said, this was not anyone they wanted a romantic relationship with. This is just obviously a fling, sexual encounter. It may have been an escort. It may have been a stripper. There's a lot of that going on in the whole twin flame community as well. Reason being is because of lust, a lot of temptation, and a lot of masculines not wanting to settle down because of that. And to get straight to the point, basically, a couple days ago, I had 2 dreams, okay? And I forgot to mention it to you guys, but like I said, it was because it was meant for the twin flame video. The first dream that I had, there was a masculine in the dream, and this masculine confessed and basically said to me that he was under demonic attack, and that there was some type of witch from a past life, a dark, there's good and bad witches, okay? This one was a very dark one, and she's an entity from past lives that has been coming back in lifetimes. Her role is to keep the feminines and the masculines from going into union. That's her role. Her role is to get as many divine masculines as possible to fill their mission. Because when the feminines and masculines become one and they come into union, they are a force. They can change the world. A lot of things will change. This is why whenever there's unions or people are close to unions, there's a lot of outside influences and entities that are intervening, because this is something that has reoccurred from a past life, okay? This also goes back to a video I posted. Let's see if I can find it. I posted this video, I posted this on November 28th, 2017, and it was a channeling I picked up through the dream. And in this dream, and it's called Divine Message Part 1, and there's a Divine Message Part 2, and this was in 2017 around November. This was basically, I was talking about demonic attacks, the masculine's body being taken over by an entity, and in the dream that I had in November, basically, there was a lot of masculines that were in shackles and chains, right? And there was a woman that was in charge, a main woman that was in charge of the masculine's energy, and it was someone that was in control, and this was something from a past life. And that reminded me of that dream that I had, and I'm like, wow, it's all connected. It's all connected. And because the same woman came back up in this dream, and she was definitely, this masculine definitely told me that she has control, and she's a demonic entity of lust, and this is for a lot of this is for either those of you who are dealing with a divine masculine who has a feminine structure, who's a feminine physically, and this feminine is either in the entertainment industry, the sexual entertainment industry, or has a sexual addiction. And this is for the males who have a sexual addictions, who are addicted to women in the entertainment industry. Okay, so if you're not into that, or if you're not aware of that happening to your masculine, or this message may not be for you, okay? But this is about like the demonic attachment from the lust. That's a lot of the things that are going on right now, which is causing distractions to what the masculines are supposed to be doing. You know, like for example, the Instagram models, a lot of them are escorts, a lot of them are strippers. And if you guys notice, a lot of relationships are ruined because of that. And not all these individuals have a demonic entity attached to them, but majority of them do. And a majority of them have fell. And majority of them, some of them are lucky if they get out of that. Okay, this is all a distraction. This is what's created to distract a lot of the masculines from entering into union. This is why a lot of them have fell into this trap. Okay, and have given into this. It's deeper than that, but I don't want to go into full details because some of this stuff is not YouTube content, and some of this stuff is really exposing a lot of what is going on. Because like I will say one thing: the things that go on physically also goes on spiritually. Everything that happens in the physical realm, there's an explanation behind it in the spiritual realm, and that's what I will tell you. Okay. Back to this dream, he told me this woman in the dream she is a dark entity from past lives. That this is her mission. This is what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to take as many masculines as possible away from their distract them and take them away from what it is they're actually meant to do. Okay, and some of you guys will already know what I'm talking about because you guys have already gotten this confirmation. And the person whose masculine did cheat on them and went out to dinner and whoever with this person, you've already gotten this confirmation as well through your guides. Okay, your masculine may have already came to you and apologized for it and confessed it soul wise. Okay, because like I said, a lot of them, they're not doing what the physical side wants them, what the soul wants them to do. Their physical side is going against what the soul wants them to do. Okay, a lot of them have lost control of their body. A lot of the souls have lost control of their body. And I'm going to be honest, and people are like, what? You can't lose your body. You can't. It happens. I've had masculines come to me and say, listen, I lost my body. I don't have control of my body anymore. I need your help. Okay, I've had a lot of masculines come to me and say that. Okay, this is why for a lot of you guys who are experiencing this right now, this is why physically your masculine's out there doing what he wants to do, and he's, you know, entertaining all this lust out there, the dust and the side chicks, and entertaining all of that. And then when it comes to you, the soul aspect is there with you. You know, the soul aspect is romantic. The soul aspect is protecting you. The soul aspect loves you because the soul aspect is aware of what's going on in the physical and spiritual realm. The soul aspect is actually aware of the battle that is going on behind the scenes that a lot of you guys are not even aware of. Okay? And it's deeper than the way I could explain it. I can't explain it the way I want to explain it because there's too much information I want to put out there, but it's deeper than what you think it is. Okay? The other dream that I had was it wasn't really a dream. I actually visit a masculine in the realm. This masculine has a dog. Okay, I don't know the name of the dog. It looked kind of like a Dalmatian. Same structure and size as a Dalmatian. It wasn't a Dalmatian, but it looked like a Dalmatian. Okay, so I don't know the breed of the dog. You guys may know what that is. This masculine was on his deathbed. He was in a hospital. Okay, and I was comforting him. I was telling him it's going to be okay. I know you're regretful for a lot of things that you've done in your life, but you can't change it. You know, you got to look past it now. This masculine is an eye-opener to a lot of masculines out there. This masculine is someone that has fallen into this trap of this entity that came from past lives and is now in this lifetime doing the same thing that she's supposed to be doing, her mission, which is she's a spirit that keeps she's using lust to keep the masculines away from accomplishing what it is they're supposed to accomplish, okay, with the feminines. This is why a lot of you guys are hearing about even celebrities falling into traps of Instagram models and all of that stuff. And I'm not saying if you're an Instagram model that's what you're doing. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that majority of them that do this, that are disguised, are actually like prostitutes and escorts and disguise themselves as an Instagram model. And that's just the reality of it. And if you don't believe me, then you can check. Okay. And then, like I said, not majority of them are doing that, but that's where a lot of the lust and a lot of the stuff is coming from. And it's all something spiritual behind it that's attached. It's a temptation for them, okay? And It's deeper. Like I said, it's deeper than that. But this entity has came back in his lifetime. This masculine that was on his deathbed, he fell into that trap. He was literally on his deathbed. He didn't know when he was going to pass. And I did visit him. And he basically was expressing that he regrets not going into union with his feminine. He regrets engaging into that lifestyle. He said he had no control of himself. He had no control of his body. And that something took over him. And no matter how much he tried to go into union with his feminine, this energy, this entity would stop him from going into it. And he always fell a victim and trap of the lust. So this masculine was actually ended up being a sugar daddy. Okay. And that did not play well in his last days, because who was by his bedside to comfort him when he had to go? Nobody. I was there in spirit, but who was there? Nobody, right? And he basically said he regrets, and he regrets falling into the trap and everything like that. And this is a wake-up call for a lot of masculines, because they think it's all fun and games now. You know, they think, oh, well, I don't have to go into union, or the feminine's not going anywhere, or I don't deserve love. So you know what? I'm just going to let the feminine live her life and be. And the reason why it's affecting the feminine so much is because even if the physical self is doing what they want to do, that soul is crying for help, and they're crying to the feminine for help. That soul is not giving up on the feminine. That soul is holding on to the feminine. You know, even if they decide to do something else physically. So then the feminines are in a way suffering, right? And because that soul is latched on. No matter how much the feminines try to detach themselves, that soul is latched on. So this masculine was basically expressing that and saying that, and saying that he lost. This was a separate masculine that said he lost his body, but this masculine been through the same thing as well. And he was basically saying that he wished that he went to union. He wished he'd fall a victim or trap of that. And, you know, his last days, he had no one there to share it with, and his love, he regretted a lot. So this was like a wake-up call to a lot of the masculines who, you know, are looking past this, okay? And it is deeper than that. So I want to actually check out what's going on here with these messages, because it's deeper than that, and there's certain things I can't, like I said, I can't really say, but wedding commitment. Okay. The problem is that you guys are, the problem is that you guys are already married. You guys are married. When you're with your masculine, you're already married. You're married in the spiritual realm, okay? That's why the soul is attached to you. You guys have been married for lifetimes, many, many lifetimes before. So like I said, that's why when physical self is doing something, the spiritual side is not agreeing with it. Their soul's not agreeing with it. The soul's next to you. The soul will confess everything that this physical self is doing. The soul will tell you, the masculine soul will tell you everything the masculine is doing physically. I cheated on you. I went to dinner with somebody. You know, I have an addiction. You know, one of the masculine soul came to me and literally said, I lost my body. I have no control over my body. That's how bad, that's how deep it got, you guys, okay? For some of them. The deception is here. Deceiving the person that they love because of this. You know, wearing this false mask. The false mask is the physical and the spiritual side. The false mask is the person who they portray themselves to be in a physical form, but it's not something that their soul is aligning with, right? It also shows here the soul wanting the commitment, wanting to manifest, wanting to work on a situation. Their soul wanted to work on a situation, but the physical self is doing the complete opposite. The physical self is pretending like they don't want this. The physical self is, a lot of them are using the excuse of, I don't deserve love, so I'm going to just do what I want to do anyways. You know, and they feel like them saying they don't deserve love, them taking responsibility and saying to themselves, I don't deserve this feminine, they feel like it's going to make things better, or they feel like it gives them that, okay, you can go do what you want to do. But what they're not understanding is that their soul is latched onto the feminine. The soul is trying to work on it regardless if they want to physically or not. And that's what kind of keeps the feminines trapped, right? This all comes down to what I was saying about them being magicians, being in two different worlds and being in two different places at once. Physically being somewhere with somebody else in a bed, but then spiritually being in your bed. That's torture. You know what I mean? That's torture. Because You guys don't want to know that. You guys are like, okay, if you're physically going to do this with someone else and you're going to be entertaining this and you know what it is that, what path I'm on and what our union is supposed to be and what we're supposed to be fulfilling, and you're choosing not to do it, then you guys are like, then leave me alone altogether. Don't come and see me spiritually. Don't lay in my bed, you know, and just leave me alone. But the reason why the soul is not giving up is because the soul is fighting for this, okay? Just like your soul is fighting for it. The souls are fighting for it, and the soul is having a hard time releasing you, feminines. They don't want to release you, right? Physically, the masculines are ignoring the fact that they do want this. That's why the Nine of Cups is here on top of deception, because it's kind of like they're self-sabotaging what is divinely meant for them. They're self-sabotaging this gift, this wish that the universe has for them. And I'm going to be honest, many of your masculines, you know, this is why they're going through a lot of stuff right now, because of the entity that's actually attached to them, right? And many of them are self-sabotaging, right? Many of them are causing their own obstacles in their life. You know, they want this wish, but at the same time, there's deception behind it. Intimacy, okay? What I'm seeing from this is the commitment with the feminine here, but then being intimate with somebody else physically. It's like your soul wants a commitment. The soul wants to work on a commitment with the feminine, but then intimacy is happening behind the scenes. And you remember how I said in the beginning, someone's masculine was intimate with somebody this past weekend, or cheated on the feminine with somebody, and they got in confirmation because the masculine soul did confess this to them, being in two worlds, laying up with the feminine at night, but then, and it's torture. The soul wanted to work on their commitment. The soul wanted to manifest this. However, there's deception in both worlds, okay? Because the deception is, because what happens here in physical realm happens in spiritual realm as well. All right. There's a spiritual meaning behind whatever happens in the physical realm. Do you guys, let me tell you something. Do you guys think that these karmics who are into probably doing spell work on you, or spell work on the masculine, or trying to fight you in the spiritual realm, or do you think they're doing this because for no reason and only because they don't want to see with the masculine? For some cases, yes. For some cases, it is jealousy. For some cases, it is, why does this person get this treatment? Some will act like they're not aware, but they are. They are. Okay? These are the masculines that are aware. Why are they aware? Because they're the ones that will tell you something telepathically, like, hey, I'm gonna give you a sign that I'm aware of this telepathic communication, so you know it's real. I'm going on vacation next week to, let's just say, Jamaica. Okay? They tell you this telepathically. And then next week, you talk to them online, and then they say, hey, I'm going to Jamaica next week. That's confirmation right there, like, yes, he's aware that we have the telepathic communication. So that masculine's aware that you have the telepathic communication. Okay? They're aware of it, right? And a lot of them, they like to keep that stuff sacred, pretend they're not aware of it, and pretend like it's just, but they know. The reason why some of them want to keep it a secret, and this is not for all masculines, okay? I'm just spilling the tea. The reason why some of them want to keep it a secret is because they like having control of both of these worlds. They like to have control of that. This is where some of them are manipulators. Not all of them, but some of them are, because they know what they're doing. Sexually, physically, they're somewhere else, committed to you. They're married to you in a spiritual realm, but then physically they're doing something else. So they know. Because listen, if the masculine was not married to you in the spiritual realm, and the masculine did not know that they were in a commitment with you, and you guys did not have this union, why is their soul coming to you and saying, I'm sorry I cheated on you? Why is their soul continuously saying, I'm sorry? What are you apologizing about if we're not in a spiritual commitment? That's my point, because they know they're in a spiritual commitment. The soul aspect knows. Some of them don't know physically, but some of them do know physically. Hope I'm not losing you guys, but it's really deep. Okay, I'm trying to give you guys understanding. Like, I know what's going on, but it's kind of hard to explain it, because not everybody is going to understand the soul aspect. But like I said, some of them are aware. Okay, and they like having this control. The distant horizon confirms them being distant in physical form, keeping their distance from you in physical form. When you have a connection with someone and you're able to communicate with them telepathically, you're very happy. You feel like you're blessed. You're like, this is sacred. This is something a lot of people don't have. 100% this is my masculine. I'm blessed to have this. Many people want to have that connection with somebody that they want to marry. They want that type of connection, right? That's beautiful, right? So they're going to cherish it. So sometimes that's the reason why a lot of karmics are attacking the feminines, because they're finding out that the feminines have this connection with the masculine, keeping their distance, some of them, from you because of this, because they know what they're doing. And a lot of them are keeping their distance from you because you are aware of what they're doing. You can pick up what they're doing. All right. And the feminines are the ones who's going to get things revealed to them. Whatever sacred secrets revealed to them. Okay. Most of the karmics, they'll get stuff revealed to them, but it's through dreams and stuff, but they won't get it as sacred as the feminines. Like, the feminines know everything, down to what the masculine was eating last night for dinner. Like, that's how strong of, because you guys are mirrors, you guys are reflections, right? So that's why a lot of them keep their distance from you, because they know that you have that access and you can see past, right? That's what's happening here. That entity's job is to keep them from going into union, right? This is the entity, like I said, I posted on that video, the same entity, and it came back in that dream where someone confessed to me and said, that's the same entity that has control over a lot of us. Because in November, they had shackles on. They had shackles on November 2017. They had shackles on. It's November again. We're not at the same date where I did that video, but we're getting close to there. And the same energy's coming back, right? And a lot of them, they were afraid of poverty, so they gave up their wish of being in union with the feminine for finances, money. There were sacrifices that were made. Some of them have made sacrifices. And if you guys think that whole stuff about making sacrifices for wealth and all that is fake, then think it's fake. That stuff is real. And some of them may have even said, yes, I sacrifice my being happy when it comes to love and settling. And that's why a lot of them have lost their bodies and don't have control over their bodies anymore, because they have switched. They've made sacrifices. Okay. And through it all, and this happened in a past life as well, but through it all, and it's insane because when I was talking to this guy on his deathbed, he said he regrets it, and he was talking to me about some things, and I was just like, that's deep. Depression, Nine of Swords, stressing about this intimacy. You know why they're stressing about this intimacy? Because they know that you know. This is also the soul aspect of them stressing as well. Because you have to understand, there's only so much the soul on their end can take. You know? It's like, imagine this masculine did lose his body or did detach from his body where he no longer has control of his body anymore. Imagine that, right? This masculine soul is going to be stressing. Because it's like a situation where the soul is like, what are you doing? Stop doing that. And he's not listening. Because why? He's been taken over. I seen somebody in the comment section one time say they can have his body, but they can't have his soul because I have his soul. She's correct. She's correct. The soul recognizes the love. The soul recognizes you. But the physical aspect of that masculine's body is distant. It's at a distant horizon. You know? And that's because of the playing around. Wow. Okay. And like I was saying in that video before I got cut off, many of them, that stuff is real. You know, many of them have said, okay, I sacrificed love, you know, for this. And it happens. Okay. And then what I was saying before was it all goes back down to that man that was laying on the bed. He said some deep stuff to me about the past life. And I said, a lot of the souls are stressing. A lot of the souls are stressing because they know they have sacrificed. And a lot of them are stressing because they no longer have control of their body. And they're like, what am I doing? Physically, they're like, what am I doing? You know, and the souls are like, what are you doing to the physical side of their body? And the souls are stressing because now the souls have to confess to the feminines physically and spiritually This is what I'm doing physically. That's why a lot of you guys, the souls are protecting you, because the souls have genuine intentions for you, pure love for you, but they have no control over the body, the masculine's body anymore. They've lost control of the masculine's body. And this is mainly, like I said, for those of you who are aware that your masculines have fallen into the trap of addiction, sexual addictions, and a lot of that stuff. You know, the stress also comes from stressing the feminine out, because now it's like they're stressing out the person that they are divinely married to. They're stressing out her soul, his soul, you know, in the spiritual realm and physically as well. Stressing out because, to be quite honest, they were supposed to be putting in hard work and dedication towards going into union with you. But because their soul has no control over their body anymore, this hard work and dedication is being put towards things that are not of love. It's just lust. When you have an entity attached to your body, taken over, it's kind of hard to have control over your body, because it's hard to explain. But that's what's going on here for some of them. And they're stressing, because no matter how much they try to put in the hard work and dedication and want to, this entity's taking over their body. This all goes back down to what that masculine was saying on his deathbed, when he was basically saying, no matter how much I try to work on going towards union with my feminine, this always came in the way. The lust. You know, and that's what stopped him. And he regrets it. He regretted it. And remember when I said the reason why they're keeping their distance is because you're aware of everything? There's a Queen of Pentacles here with that, her third eye lightening up. That means she knows what's going on. She's aware of everything. You know, the Ten of Cups here confirms the marriage between the masculine and feminine and what's supposed to be. And what the feminine knows is what's supposed to be. The feminine knows that she is the one that's supposed to have this Ten of Cups with the masculine. Right? She knows that she's the one that's supposed to have this family, have this children, or whatever your situation is, merge families. You guys have already gotten this confirmation through the spiritual realm. Right? That's why her penal gun. But this also confirms the masculine also being aware of the feminine's qualities as a loyal and nurturing, loving individual. Loyal individual. Loyal, because if you really take it in, no matter how much the masculine can feel your presence and your energy, they still, some of them, they still can go out there and sleep with somebody. They still can do that. Right? They can hear as much songs about you as possible from this, and they still can go sleep with somebody. You know? And it's not to say they don't feel guilty about it. No, I'm not saying they don't feel guilty, but if you guys went out there and slept with somebody and you would feel bad, right? A lot of you guys who are twins and who are aware of what's going on, it's hard for you to even date someone. It's hard for you to even communicate with someone else. It's hard for you, like, yet alone lay in the bed with someone else. Reason being is because you feel your masculine energy so much, and you have control over, your soul has control over your body. That's why. For them, their soul has no control over their body. They're being taken over by an entity to where they can go and do it. They feel bad after, but it's like they're being, in a way, controlled. And I'm not taking up their side and saying that they should not take responsibility for anything. No, because they put themselves in this position. They did. Your body can only be taken over by an entity if you allow it to be. If you allow that entity to take over your body. And that was through manipulation. It bit them back. Karma, basically. But now you guys have to deal with it, right? Right? And this also confirms the feminine, because she is, or he is, the one that's divinely married to the masculine. This is confirming them being allowed to have access to what's going on in their life. And that's you guys getting, that goes back down to the message I was saying, where even karmics don't have this type of access to where they know exactly every detail of what's going on in masculine's life. You guys do. Because you guys are already married to the masculine. So you have this access. The masculines are aware you have this access. That's why they keep their distance. So with the being left out in the cold, poverty, some of them sacrificing, their happiness here. Queen of Wands, the Sun. This also confirms them, you know, leaving this confident femme. They see your confidence, feminine. They see you as confident. A lot of them, like I said before, were feeling a little bit intimidated because they know, because of your worth, feeling like they don't deserve you, right? And it's also because of the path that they chose. Two of Wands confirms, which key do I put, which box do I put the key in? Like I said, majority of them have deceived you and chosen a path and chosen a box. And the box that they chose had nothing to do with the feminine for some of them. And some of them made sacrifices for money. I'm going to be honest. For money and for status and all of that. Why do you think a lot of them, some of them that are in the situation where they are sugar daddies and they have sexual addictions, why do you think they always chase after women with status? But not the type of status that's respectable. But the type of status that's more of lust. You can't really see it in the physical form. If you're connected to your masculine, this is your masculine, and you have access to your masculine in a way no one else is going to have access to your masculine because you're the one that's divinely married to your masculine spiritually, you will have access to these secrets. Right? And this is them. This is the happiness, the Sun here. And this is the confidence here. And this is the poverty here. So it's like a situation where a decision was made between love and between happiness and love, or fame and status and money and lust. Which door are you going to choose? Which box are you going to put the key in? Right? Which box are you going to put the key in? A lot of them made the wrong choice. And it's lust. It's lust. And it's a repeated pattern, you know. And it's not that they don't love you. Like I said, majority of them have made a decision. And it's nothing you can do, feminines. You can't break this cycle. They have to break it. You've already broken your cycle. You're already doing the right thing. You have control of your body, right? Because you've done the right thing. When you start manipulating both worlds, being that magician here, knowing that I have someone that's always going to be there for me, so I can do this and this and this, and when I'm ready to settle down, or when I don't no longer want to be seeing all these women or men anymore, this feminine is going to still be there for me. When you have that mentality, this is the karma that you get. This is the karma that's happening. This is why a lot of them have lost control of, a lot of their souls have lost control of their body, and this is why they're screaming for help right now. This is why a lot of them won't leave you alone, feminine, because they feel like no matter what, the soul is going to hold on, because the soul feels like if they keep continue holding on to you, you're giving the soul their energy that they've lost physically. So you're feeding them this energy of love, unconditional, and that's what they want. So the souls are yearning, right? And this is why no matter how much you try to move on, you're still attached to them. Especially when you're going through all of this stuff here and you're aware that your masculine is doing all of this. And you're like, why can't I be detached from my masculine? If my masculine is doing all of this, why can't my masculine just leave me alone? Why can't I be detached from this? Why can't I move on? I don't deserve this. That's why, because the soul is not letting you go. Their soul is the one that's holding on to you. Okay? And that's what a lot of you guys always say. If you don't want to be with me in physical form, why don't you just leave me alone and be with these other women? Why doesn't your soul go and lay in these women's bed? Why doesn't your soul go and protect these other women? Why are you focused on me? And you have to understand that this is what the problem is. And it's because the soul knows that you're the one, that they're married. You're married. You're already married to your masculine. Okay, and even physically, if you don't go into union, because your masculine has lost the battle, like that one masculine that I seen, when you leave, you're going back, your souls are going back together. You know what I mean? The third party situations, the lust involved, the not putting in hard work and dedication into the union because they're putting hard work and dedication into what is not serving their purpose, and into what's controlling them, into addiction. And this self-sabotage is based on what? Their decisions, the decisions that they have made. That's what the self-sabotage is. So they're the ones kind of sabotaging this future. And that's why the feminine and feminine's here, you know, because she or he sees it all. right? And they have access to that. That's why they're keeping their distance, because of sabotage, because of deception. Okay? Because they know they're self-sabotaging. And a lot of them physically know this as well. They know they're self-sabotaging, but it's a fight, it's an addiction. It's you know, the box that they've chosen with that key. Sacrifices when it came to love, based on selfishness and greed, you know, and feeling like the feminine's always going to be there. And in my last video, I said this. I said a lot of them feel like the feminines are going to be there for them, but what they don't understand is that that's not the case. There's consequences to your actions, and that's what I was saying. I said in my last video, and that's what I'm seeing here. A lot of it backfired. The tower came out. Secrets are exposed. Secrets are exposed. A lot of you guys are finding out these secrets. A lot of you guys are seeing that they have chosen or they have made sacrifices. Rejection, bored. Listen, a lot of them, they fall into this trap, and look, they're not happy. Doesn't this remind you of what I was saying earlier about the masculine that was on his deathbed and saying that he regrets not going into union with his feminine here? Because he took advantage of both worlds, took advantage of the spiritual connection that he was aware of, and said to himself, my feminine's going to always be there for me. I can mess around with all these people, and I could be a sugar daddy, or I could be whatever I want and not go into union for the next 10, 15 years. And then when I'm ready for my feminine, I could be with her. But guess what happened? It did not work out that way for him. He was on his deathbed and he was alone, right? And that's the reality of it for a lot of them. Because a lot of them have chosen lust over love. They have. A lot of them have mistaken lust over love. They have. This needs to be a wake-up call for majority of them. Because this wake-up call is confirming that they can miss an opportunity at real love, of having something divine in the physical form, right? And that's that boredom, discontentment, not being happy. And a lot of them are stressing over that. That's why it's Nine of Swords here. A lot of them are stressing over that. Because a lot of them are thinking and they're realizing that I can only do this for so long. And what if by the time I'm ready, my feminine's not there? Or by the time I'm ready, it's too late. That's the reality that's hitting a lot of them. Because of this. Self-sabotaged a family. Self-sabotaged a marriage. Self-sabotaged having a good future. Being happy with the sun here. Self-sabotaged that because of lust. Because of selfishness and greed, and thinking that this person or this feminine is always going to be there for them. So they can do it whatever they want now and then come back later, when it backfired on a lot of them. And for those who are not aware of it, and those masculines who are doing this and maybe watching my video, this is just a wake-up call that it may backfire on you as well. Internal conflicts. They're going through conflicts now because of the control they thought they had. The Emperor. Because they thought they were controlled. They are wise. They know what they're doing. And they thought that a lot of this stuff was hidden. And no one would find out about it. They didn't even think the family would find out about it. That's why I said a lot of them are keeping their distance, because they're shocked that you guys even know. But come on, when you're married to someone in a spiritual realm, they're going to know everything that you're doing. You can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide, right? So this is the conflicts that they're having right now. The internal conflicts, external conflicts. This is basically confirming a lot of, for those masculines who are in this position here, a lot of things in their life are falling apart. Conflicts in both worlds. Conflicts in the spiritual, conflicts in the physical. Conflicts between themselves, physically and spiritually, because their soul can no longer control their physical self. Regretting the ideas, regretting their plots, regretting their plans of control. And this, like I said, this is for the selfish masculines who basically said, my feminine is always going to be there for me. I am going to get this Ten of Cups energy. That feminine is always going to be there for me, so I could do what I want now and come back, because this connection is not going anywhere. We're already married. That's taking advantage of somebody. That's taking advantage of a connection. And that's why there's regrets here. I just heard good girl from my guides. Self-sabotage is what ultimately left them to this. Being left out in the cold. Being without the feminine. all that lust that you were chasing after, this is that masculine that was giving this masculine a wake-up call, or these masculines a wake-up call. All these feminines that masculine that was on his deathbed chased after led him to this. Third parties, situations, multiple partners, sexual addictions. Oh, my feminine's always going to be there for me. Because my feminine and me are married. So I can do all this now, come back to my feminine, and we're going to live happily ever after when I'm ready to settle down. When I'm ready to settle down. When I'm ready to go into union. Doesn't work like that. Judgment. You reap what you sow. It does not work like that. I remembered it this morning because this was supposed to be the message for them. And inner calling. A lot of them have forgotten what their inner calling is, and they have taken advantage of their inner calling. They have. And that's where the regrets are here. The missed opportunity, the conflicts, because of why they've sacrificed their inner calling. It all comes back down to them choosing a path with the key, and the path that they chose, they thought both boxes were going to be there for them. They thought both boxes were going to be there for them. And then they sacrificed and chose one box, saying, oh, this box will be there for me later on. Later on comes, it's not there. Their inner calling is gone. This is a sacrifice. They have an inner calling, and a lot of them have sacrificed their inner calling. And a lot of them are close to doing that as well. Because that man was on his bed, and he was lonely. He was very unhappy. He missed an opportunity, and he was stressing. And the only companion that he had there was his dog. That's it. And these consequences are hidden because they can't see it. They think there's no consequences. That's what the problem is. Not realizing these consequences are what's actually being hidden. So, you guys, this was a deep message. I hope you guys are doing well and have a positive day. I hope I'm able to give some of you guys some clarity. But like I said, this message is not for everybody. This is going to be for those of you who are aware that this is actually happening. Okay, guys? Thank you guys so much. Bye.